ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे परम्पराम्. So, we will take up the last final verse of chapter 4, and just to revise again, that the 41st verse, or start from 40th verse. 40th verse, he spoke of the three important flaws within oneself which contribute to a spiritual fall. So three flaws in oneself which contribute to the spiritual fall. And spiritual fall specifically means denying yourself the opportunity to grasp the permanent reality, your own permanent reality, to unfold your own permanent reality. You deny yourself that possibility. If this is understood, you will realize there is a huge difference between what religions would say and what Veda says. Your gati, your growth, your evolution in Veda's vision is entirely your right. It is your right. It is your choice. Just as you may take an example, very often Dvaiti schools would use this, but it is quite useful to convey the point. If the creation is his, he is the one who inheres it. He makes the creation, he inheres the creation. If this creation is his, then he has made everyone equal to him, in the sense that he has given the same daivam to each being. He's created his srishti not with him being superior, sitting high there and we are all servants. Dvaiti school of course adopts this for Chitta Shuddhi, but we are using this example to convey that he's sitting there in his supremost nature. Himself is expressed in creation, and therefore everything here is of the same nature. And if that is so, then it must reflect in a jiva's life, which means I must have that superiority, and to give me that superiority, equality, is the choice that Creator has given us. I hope I'm conveying this clearly. Creator, when he makes the creation, when he has made the creation, in that he has given everyone his status. To have his status means you have a full choice. It is your choice. You have an equal choice. It is entirely your choice means giving you that higher status. You wish to evolve, You wish to do nothing about your life, or you wish to while it away, or whatever you wish. That capacity to be able to choose for yourself. This is the highest possibility, and this Veda gives to a human being. It is your choice that you wish to evolve, and it gives you the method. It shows you the way. But if you choose contrary to that, it also shows you that instead of evolution, what will happen to you? At the end, we have all heard this. Krishna tells Arjuna, Yatha Ichchasi Tatha Kuru. Now that Yatha Ichchasi Tatha Kuru is a very reflective of the choice, independent. Entirely your right. You cannot imagine the gravity of this statement probably till you really sit on it. The gravity of the statement that the choice is entirely mine. And there is no Daivi factor up there who's controlling my gati, on whose mercy I will grow. Uski marzi hai to mera kalyan hoga. No. Veda says the roadmap is given. You walk whichever way. It will show you. You walk to east, this direction. This is you get to the opposite direction. You choose the opposite direction. This is the goal you get. Exactly my point that we went to a place, an ashram, for a retreat, and we came to a dead end at a point, and at a dead end point there were two roads, one right, one left. There was nothing straight. Left was taking you to a hill station, Bhoga Vritti. Right was the only one which was taking you to ashram. Till that point, the road was same. Now, if you didn't know, right jaye ki left jaye, you have a choice there. You can stand there, you can sit there, you can house there. You will die there. You can house at that juncture, not deciding should I go right or should I go left. That is a choice. But you will have to do the discernment, fact finding. You will have to figure out left jana hai ki right jana hai if your gantavya, where you want to go, is clear to you. If it's not clear to you, you will take a chance. Obviously 50-50, right? Jahan pahunch gaye theek hai, left jahan pahunch gaye theek hai. That's possible. But Veda says all these possibles are your choice. And in showing where you go, right or left, means pravritti, nivritti, towards kalyan, towards samsar. Which are those vrittis that make you a samsari? And which are the vrittis which give you kalyan, atma kalyan? आप ही की अपनी वृत्ति है. Your thinking, your thought process, your outlook, your perspective, your aspirations. It is you entirely. Nothing else. So here in 40th verse, there is a caution given that you may have chosen the gantavya to go right, but you land up doing things along the way also, which result in you not having a peaceful journey and many times not reaching, still retaining the samsaritvam within yourself. अंदर संसारी तुम फिर भी बने हुए हो, वेदांत का श्रवणम करके भी संसारी हो. अगर संसारी हो तो वेदांत का श्रवणम is not going to result by the grace of Ishvara, means it will not fructify in removing your sansara by grace of Ishvara or by Guru's grace. वो grace तो वहां खत्म हो गई that आपको श्रवण clear है. उसके बाद तो आत्म अनुग्रह होगा. That Atma Anugraha means now that you have become a receiver of the knowledge, how does this knowledge churn in you? If it continues to keep you in samsara mode, then he says definitely there were flaws in your internal software. Virus hai andar. Yeah? Your mala inside is the virus. It's corrupting the knowledge you're receiving. It's corrupting it. And if it corrupts it, then it cannot function. The knowledge will not function because it has to go through so much corruption inside it. What is that? Ashraddha, Ajnana, and Sanshaya. The worst being Sanshaya. This Sanshaya doubt that he picked up in 40th verse, in 41st verse he had said, those people who stuck to doing Jnana Yoga sadhanas, they handled the Sanshaya within of Veda Pramanam, because of which, when I say Veda Pramanam, means accepting Veda entirely as a valid means of knowledge, not being skeptical about it, not being skeptically critical about it. You can question it to understand, but you cannot be skeptical about it. So these people who managed their skepticism and pursued it enough for them to take Veda Purva Bhag as valid, purified it by doing the karmas as yoga, and then reach the stage of Jnanam where the same knowledge that they have qualified themselves for, with that help they give up all karmas. And it was that knowledge with which they removed all doubts. All doubts again, that all doubt is going to be spoken of in 42 verse. In which manner is that doubt? There are two kinds of doubts. The doubts that I was saying in the previous class, the doubts that I can have about what should I do? Should I take this or should I do this? Should I go right or should I go left? Should I grow or should I just, when we were still younger, the path was, should I pursue this through Grihastashram or should I skip that and go to sannyasa straight away? There are choices and choices a human being has to make. He has to decide. Those choices, how will you choose? What basis? वो जो संशय है, that is in the heart, in the intellect, confusion of lack of data. Then there is another confusion, which he says with reference to your nature. Now in 42nd verse, up to 41st verse, this both were taken off as doubts. And more emphasis addressing to Arjuna, who was confused, what should I do? So it was more addressing at the level of the confusion, at the level of choice. But 42nd verse, Shankara very clearly gives one simple thing, that those doubts is not what really Shastra would address, because they are your internal doubts, nobody from outside can address. You will have to address your doubts. But the doubt regarding your nature, who are you? Trust us. None of us, even now, after hearing it so clearly, even me saying it so clearly, when we pack up next day, 3 days down the line, what is my nature? Will that be a topic of my thought? Or what do I do now? क्या करना है मुझे? There will still be something with reference to life की parameters में in this life. हमारा मन चलेगा तो इन्हीं चीजों के बीच में चलेगा. मतलब यू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट आई मीन बाय इन्हीं चीजों के बीच में, जो हम दृश्य वर्ल्ड में हैं, इस दृश्य दुनिया के बीच में ही हमारा मन चलता है. दैट व्हाट इज योर नेचर, इसका बीज, इसका विचार कहाँ रहेगा? वेयर विल यू एंटरटेन? अगर मन मेरा भरा है इन्हीं दृश्य वस्तुओं से, व्हाट इज माय नेचर? Where will that thought be planted? Where should I put the seed for that thought to grow? For the seed to be planted? What is my nature? What really do I think I am? What do I know as myself? When I start that inquiry, at the moment we do Vedanta Shravanam, Atma is that, Brahman is this. As a Jiva, I am not this, understood, but I am still seeing my way. In time I will see. But this in time wala process, unless and until the seed is planted. The seed planting is मेरा स्वभाव in actual sense है क्या? What is it that I am made of? What is it that I really am? I am. That's it. Just this question, what am I? What really am I is the question that is being addressed through all the Shastras in Vedanta. Topic is, what am I? This further, he's now expressing it in 42 verse. In 41 verse, he says, such a jnani, taking to this, cuts asunder this doubt. He has no longer this doubt. प्रश्न नहीं है कि मैं क्या हूं. उसको जवाब है कि मैं ये हूं. अहम ब्रह्म अस्मि. हमारे हम पूछना आज शुरू करेंगे कि मैं क्या हूं. If this was some sort of a workshop, I would have asked you, just now, take a paper and a pen and ask yourself, what am I? Or close your eyes, ask yourself, what am I? What will be the image? When you start thinking, what is my nature? When you start thinking, what is my nature? What comes to your mind? All the qualities. I'm kind. I will give all good qualities, okay? That's my job. I'm kind. I'm generous. I'm a happy person. I'm so giving. I'm so unselfish. I'm so accommodative. I am so nice. I'm so pure. I am so beautiful. I am so intelligent. I am so caring. I am so lovely. I'm so awesome. I am so... All of this is what? All of this is qualities. The minute you put your mind to this question, what is my nature? My nature comes all this. Honestly, if this was an ashram setup, you were all sannyasis, the talk would have been, at this point, we would have said, certainly I would have said, what are you talking? क्या वेदांत कर रहे हो? क्या सुन रहे हो? क्या समझ रहे हो? ये कहा था क्या वेदांत क्लास में? What is my nature? Look at the fogginess, perceive the fogginess that comes to your mind with reference to the fogginess and the certainty of the qualities that I call myself as मैं. 100% sure. यही तो seed है संसार का. All these qualities that I have called on myself is the very arambh of samsar. Because if you say I'm caring, then you are seeing someone else as not so caring. एक तो वो गलत, ऊपर से in contrast, you think you are extra nice. You are the only angel and the... What are he angels called? I don't know. I only know the she's are called angels. What are the he's called? I do not know. So I really wonder if they even have a name. I am just an angel. That's it. Devils are all there. Is this Vedanta? हमारे मन की वृत्ति में इतना नहीं अंदर बैठा कि मेरा nature, is it going to be further qualified by I am a wife of so and so, husband of so and so, or I am a father of so and so, mother of so and so, grandmother, grandfather, and I am a friend of so and so, I am a citizen of so and so. So many such attributes. ये सारा संशय जब हम सोचने बैठते हैं तो आता है. Shankara's beautiful point is going to be, जो सोचता नहीं है वो confused ही नहीं है. वो सोचता है कि मैं सब जानता हूं, लेकिन जब सोचना शुरू करता है तो समझ में आता है कि there is only confusion here. कुछ नहीं जानता मैं. That कुछ नहीं जानने का स्थिति is your first seed of viveka. बुद्धि अब जागी है. When you have Diwali pe, at least when we were kids, we used to have this whole bloody. Now because of pollution, I don't know if you have them. Lambi, 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 lambi. Itni lambi, thousands of crackers together. And all that you had to do was, and I have naughty siblings, all that they would do is wait for everybody to go to sleep and then light it. Karma, but they would do that. That was children. Many children do that. So what did they do? They waited. It used to be a long thing, and the whole lane used to be, half the lane would get filled up with that. It was so long. They would wait, and all that you had to do was light at one end. That's it. Just light at one end, and next 5-7 minutes, non-stop. Lighting at one end. What is it in Vedanta Drishti? The minute you start entertaining thoughts regarding your real nature, you will be in confusion. That confusion that you experience when you start the right thinking process, that is the lighting at the first point. First cracker ka light. Then it goes phat, 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 because slowly your information settles down and slowly you start seeing Atma and Atma Viveka as Shastra has shown. Nothing else. That means how much of the clearer Shravanam you have gone through, that alone will be your aid to sift them. This person has removed all Sanshaya, gone from his life. He has no more a doubt, am I this, am I that? If I am, and like in karma stage, you would still be saying, stick to karma yoga, so you have to be the karta. So with reference to your children, you have different actions. With reference to society, all of them you keep offering. There's so much of going on. Jnana chinna samshayaha. All the doubts have been burnt away. Chinna, cut means that लड़ी को काट दिया बीच में. अगर आप काट दोगे उसको, it's gone, because who you are, manan is on that. What is my nature? मन आप उसी पे स्थिर करके देखे जा रहे हैं. This person then, through the Karam Yoga, having come to Jnana Yoga, renouncing all karmas because he is no more dependent on their fruits. पुण्य की उसे इच्छा नहीं है, पाप वो अवॉइड नहीं करता और वो कर ही नहीं सकता by that time. So it kind of reduces the realm of karma to very small level. This further he says, Atmavantam. The more your mind gets clearer, विवेक बुद्धि से लड़ी जगा दी है. शुरू में खिचड़ी पक रही है, अंदर ही सब कुछ हो रहा है, फट 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 हो रहा है. व्हाट एम आई? कभी हम गुनाज है, कभी हम गुनाज नहीं है, कभी कर्मा करना है, कभी ज्ञान करना है. एग्जैक्टली अर्जुना स्थिति. एंड देन धीरे धीरे एज क्लैरिटी dawns, he says he starts abiding in himself, poised in the knowledge of Atma. Our very interesting Shravanam is, I always observe in myself and therefore applicable to everybody, I'm sure. जब हम वेदांत श्रवणम सुनते ना, poised in myself, I'll ask you again, close your eyes, tell me honestly that poised was what poised? Who's poised? What did come to your mind? Name and form. Calmness of my mind, poised. So you start behaving a very calm, poised externally. That's not the poise in Atma. Poised in Atma means उसकी अंदर की दृष्टि आत्म स्थित है, not उसका मन poised है. Because of ज्ञान, his mind is not poised. That is Karam Yoga, which gives you the poise of the mind. Therefore, there is only, most people in the world who come to this are pretentious, because they think that knowledge means being poised. वो तो कर्म योग से समत्वम हो गया तुम्हारा. Poised in Atma, composed in Atma Gyan, means he is not composed in guna. His drishti is inward. How Ramana had said in Upadesha how he converts the vision. Mind has gone inward. हमारा mind कहाँ है? Outward. Yoga से धीरे धीरे you bring the mind inward. Yoga, not Ashtanga yoga, Karam yoga, Upasana yoga. You bring your mind in, the mind changes its direction. भागना बंद करता है. जैसे जैसे बाहर भागना बंद करता है, अपने में वो स्थिर हो जाता है. और वो जो शांत स्थिर है, that is the instrument which becomes an aid for Atma Vichar. This Atma Vichar, when it gets initiated by proper thinking and proper hearing, proper reflection, आत्मा तो आप ऑलरेडी हो, अब भी हो, लेकिन अभी हम मानते हैं अपने आप को गुणवान, गुणवती. If you're a feminine, I'm gunavati. If you're masculine, I'm gunavan. I'm full of gunas, all good gunas. This gunavan, gunavati, when the mind is now reflective about Atma, already the Atma which you are dismisses the guna based personality, क्योंकि उसको higher satyam दिख रहा है. The minute it begins to see what is more lasting, if I draw two lines, if there is only one line, if I take up the board here and draw one line, and I ask you what is the length of this, how can you measure the length of a line? You will need another line to measure it. You can't measure it by itself. Now when you measure it, my question will be, how short is this line? Or how long is this line? How can you answer that, short or long? Even to measure, you need another line. And to further say, is it short or long, you will definitely need another line. With reference to it, you will say, ye short hai ki long hai. Similarly, guna, personality, I already am very aware of. Once I know this guna personality, when the mind through yoga has become inward, and the Atma and Atma Viveka, the Pratyaya is beginning to shape. Vichar hone laga hai. What is my nature? When that vichar has started to happen, that time on that quiet mind, automatically this Atma becomes that infinite line. Permanent, and guna-based personality automatically becomes the shorter, impermanent. दिख गया, विवेक हो गया. विवेक करने के लिए कुछ चाहिए ना. So the more there is Atma Vichar, provided there has been the Samatvam stage before. Therefore, a pre-baked, if you're in a hurry, you're baking a cake, it takes its own 10, 12, 20 minutes, but you are in a hurry because you need the final product. You put it, 2 minutes, you take it out. Consumable? Not consumable. Why not consumable? Because you did not put to its heat, its cooking process for as long as it was necessary. Once you hear Vedanta, you have to put the mind to its heat, cooking process, which is the yogas. अगर आपने उसको पकाया ही नहीं है और आप श्रवण कर दिए, वो भी भागते दौड़ते between children and grandchildren and work and family and rest of it, just shravanam 1 hour, and you think the fruit, the result should be ready-made enlightenment. I should be enlightened because after all, I've heard, unless until your mind has gone through the cooking process, योग में बैठा है अगर, किया है उसने साधन, अगर किया है तो शास्त्रों में कह चुका है, हैव नो संशय, डोंट डाउट, हैव फुल श्रद्धा. If you have walked the right path, be certain the result is yours. Have no sanshay on that. But that sanshay you eliminate. Here in this context, the Jnani, he eliminates the sanshaya, is kisam ke to hai nahi. He eliminates the very sanshaya, am I the permanent? How can, it's like asking a hypothetical question situation, let me put it. If there is a dream you and a waking you, if there is a dream you and a waking you, which are both hypothetical, not possible, but both in conversation, the dream you and the waking you, and each is asking the other, this is me. The dream you is saying, ye main hu. The waking you is saying, ye main hu. Tu nahi hai, main hu. The dream is saying, dream. At one point, at that junction, both are having this certainty that they are that. That discernment, how, sorry, I missed it. So this person who has done the discernment through gain of Atma, Anatma, Viveka, come to the point of Ishvara, Jiva, Jagat, Aikyam, Jagat, Mithya, therefore Jiva, Ishvara, Aikyam. That sanshay, that who is this guna-based person, or seeing the permanent line, the permanent existence of oneself, recognizing that as yourself, he has renounced all what is not Atma, which means what is dependent for existence on Atma. He renounces, it means he has removed the Satyatva Buddhi. Renounce word is a very misleading word in many contexts. Renounce doesn't mean chhod dena. Renounce means uska correct jagah usko rakh dena. That is real renunciation. Real renunciation means जो हमारे मन में high value, low value, correct value नहीं होती है. Giving a right value to anything is renunciation of it. You remove the higher value from that. So it's like supposing it's at this point it is humid. Humid is humid. Now giving it a very, oh, it is so humid, nice, it is so. Now all that is, giving that up is called renunciation. Bringing your mind to seeing facts. It's humid. It's cold. It's hot. Oh, I don't like it. This is so bad. Then you have to go and get so many. And then half a day gone. So much vyavhara. Renunciation means giving all that up. जो है नहीं उसके अंदर, तुम impose कर रहे हो उस पे. वो है नहीं उसके अंदर. To be able to see कि वो है नहीं उसके अंदर. That is why Vedanta is entirely an internal, beautiful process. And if you're not equipped here, Vedanta is not your path. You have to return back in the sense, qualify through yogas and then return back to Shravanam, because this is all correction here. To the extent you are doing it, now don't take it literally, to the extent you are doing it, to that an extent, the Shravanam will have a hold. What you must understand is, I'm concluding the chapter, therefore I am also concluding the message. What you must understand is, If I'm not seeing the perception, then the flaw lies in my attempt for it. Knowledge is an effortless perception. Atma Gyan is an effortless perception. So this person has managed to go through all these stages. Call them stages. He's gone through all of that successfully because he held the first Jnanam Labhate Shraddhavan. He held the Shraddha throughout. Every time the Guna Vritti pendant, Shraddha in Vedanta Vakya, that you are not this body, mind, complex, buddhi, body, mind, intellect, chittam, you are not this. Brahman you are. I have parked it. I may not understand it, but I have parked it. And that I will have an unshaken anchor in till I see it. That is, he says, through that, Atmavantam, he remains absorbed in this drishti. To him, to such a person, anyway karmas don't bind. Now he's bringing, see the verse you have to see from two sides, always, two angles. One is keeping in mind Krishna is addressing Arjuna also. And the same thing is being said in a general way to all Agyanis because Arjuna represents all of us. So you have to see the verse fitting so beautifully as a conversation and at the same time fitting as knowledge. Na nibatnanti dhananjaya. So he's particularly telling Arjuna that karmas don't bind such a person. But whereas what is the halat of Arjuna? In that halat that he is, whether he does the war or avoids the war, both will bind him. He cannot escape sansar. If he fights, he is going to be guilty because he is going to be the instrument of killing his own people and many people. And if he runs away, he is going to be regretful because he didn't do his Kshatriya Dharma. At some point, he got a chance to protect Dharma and he failed in that protection. So both ways there is sansara for him. On one hand, on one side it is guilt, on the other side it can be regret. The only way you can escape sansara is when you do what is to be done in the spirit of, as he said, purely from Karma Yoga Drishti. And now he's concluding it, and we will take that verse now, 42nd verse. Can see?
Yes, Deepti.
Tasmadagyanasambhutam
Tasmadjnanasambhutam
Ritstham Jnanasinatmanaha
Hritstham Jnanasinatmanaha
Hitvainam Samshayam Yogam
Hitvainam Samshayam Yogam
Atishthotishhtha Bharata
Atishtotishta Bharata
Tasmadagyanasambhutam Ritstham Jnanasinatmanaha Chitvainam Samshayam Yogam Atishthotishhtha Bharata.
Tasmadjnanasambhutam Hritstham Jnanasinatmanaha Chitvainam Sanshayam Yogam Atishtotishta Bharata.
So he says, Tasmat Ajnana Sambhutam. Tasmat, conclusion, therefore. Remember again, Gita was not the way we read it now, divided in chapters. In the Mahabharata, it is 700 verses together. It is not divided like this. So you find when a conversation, a point has been conveyed, Vyasa Charya, he brings in the verse to say this topic is over. Tasmat means therefore, means the whole topic is finished. What is therefore means now we are coming to the conclusion. The conclusion is, therefore, Ajnana Sambhutam. Ajnana Sambhutam. इसलिए, this Sambhuta means born of. Ajnan. इसलिए, Ajnan Janit. Therefore, born of ignorance. Ritstham. Hriday mein sthit. And Hriday here means the physical heart is only your Golaka, call it. Shastra Drishti is that the Antakaran resides in the physical heart. Our idea is that our Antakaran resides in the brain. So when we say my mind thinks, I think, we put our hands like that because we think it is in the brain. But Shastra Drishti, your Antakaran is actually in the heart. That is why when you are anxious, your palpitations increase, etc., etc., etc. So Hridayam is that physical heart, which is the physical Golaka, but it is Lakshana for the Antakaranam. So where is this? Where is Ajnana, born of Ajnana, therefore, which is rooted in the mind? What you should say? Samshayam in the second line. Samshayam. This Samshayam, which is born of ignorance and is rooted in your Antakaranam. Chitvainam. Cut this. Karto. Chitva. Isko. Tak, 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 tak. That kind. Slay it. Destroy it. How? Jnana asinatmanaha. Kaatne ke liye you need instrument. Like in the morning we were saying. What is the tool you will use? Jnanam is that tool. Asina refers to sword. Talwar. Jnana roop talwar dwara. Atmanaha. Atma me. This Atmanaha word is going to be explained in Bhashyam a little because it has two standpoints. But here in the Moolam, you can just say, in oneself it can means destroy the sanshaya, doubts, born of ignorance, which are rooted in oneself. This can have one meaning. Atmanaha can another have a meaning, which is doubt regarding Atma, you being Atma. So there are two different things. I hope this is clear. I'll repeat myself. One doubt can be seeing just this portion, that the asunder, cut the doubt which is born of ignorance, which is rooted in the Antakaranam in oneself, Atmanaha. The same Atmanaha word can have a different meaning, and that meaning would be the doubts regarding oneself being Atma. Is the meaning clear? Because this is subtle and Bhashyam is based on this. I'll repeat again. One meaning will be doubt in me. जो मुझ में doubt है, Atmanaha. That Shastra is telling me, cut it asunder because the doubt is born of Ajnanam, which is in my Antakaran, in me. Second meaning is the doubt regarding me being Atma. Atmanaha. Atma को लेके जो मुझे doubt है, Shastra says, cut it by Jnanam. Now, if we didn't have the Bhashyam, this second meaning, and if you can see the subtlety of the two meanings, the second meaning is so beautiful and subtle and in the context of Vedanta vision, because if you just gave the first meaning, it would still be missing the Vedanta Pramana. Remember Vedanta being direct liberator. The Shravanam has to be accurate. The delivery has to be accurate for it to give you liberation, for the listener to reflect on it clearly. Therefore, if Bhashyakara did not give us the second meaning, and if we were left with the first meaning, our doubts regarding the verses at another point of time would not have got cleared. He completes the vision here by saying that this Atmanaha is meaning to doubt with reference to yourself being Atma is what Krishna is telling Arjuna to cut asunder. Therefore, why do that? Therefore, to do that, he says, Yogam Atishta Uttishta. Amazing word. Yogam, therefore. Here yoga is Karam Yoga. Samatva Rupa Karam Yoga. Yog word has different meanings in different contexts. So with the help of Acharyas, previous teachers, and a lot of Mananam, people have given the meanings that are accurate. The commentaries, sub-commentaries help us understand which is the right meaning in that context. Yogam here is Karam Yoga. In the previous verse we said Yogam is Yoga Sanyasta Karmanam. There the yoga was Jnana Yoga. In this verse, yoga is Karam Yoga. Krishna is telling him, Yogam Atishtha. Atishtha word would mean commit, undertake, resort, sthit ho. Karam Yog mein sthit ho ke. Look at the conclusion. What are you addressing? Doubt regarding you being Atma. And what is Krishna telling Arjuna? Sthit ho abhi Karam Yog mein. Means hum, like Arjuna, everyone listening would say, Are then I should take Gyan Sadhana, no? And yet what is Krishna telling him in the chapter of Jnana Sadhana? He says, for you to be able to remove the doubts regarding your own nature, now, sthit ho in Karam Yoga. Uttishta, khada ho. Remember first chapter, Arjuna had fallen to his knees, his Gandiva had fallen, he was horripilating, he was palpitating, and he was in a complete dejected mode of mind. And he had fallen at the feet of Krishna. Till this verse, it seems, obviously this word tells us Arjuna is still in that halat. So Krishna is pumping him up and saying, Uttishta, khada ho, get up, get up, khada ho, Karam Yog mein apne man ko sthit kar and do what you're supposed to do so that ye jo Atma Sanshay hai, finally you want freedom, you want liberation, you want ultimate peace, you want Shanti, then for now get up and do your Karma Yoga. O Bharata, and Krishna addresses him as Bharata. Bharata is Bharatvanshi. Bharatvanshi. Or Bharat is actually the name of India. India is a very anglicized name purposely given so that our roots are disconnected from us. India is not this nomenclature. This is Bharat. Because Bharat has a very definite meaning. Bharat is the land of Bharat, which means Bharatvansh is that which aspires for illumination. Bharata means that means sun is called revealing. It is a revealing thing. So Bharata basically means that which is a land where moksha was a predominant seeking. A land where this opportunity was available. people of this, see, it was not a geographical ground. Whoever group formed association with Veda and pursued it started being called Bharatas. Bharat also then got transferred to the land. This land is, and he's reminding Arjuna, you are the scion of Bharat. तुम तो उसके वंशी हो. Those who are enlightened. Therefore, don't slip your, aspire for that state. And the whole roadmap is given. He's telling, and that Bharata refers to all of us, not just to Arjuna. You are a scion of that lineage. Get up, own your own state. How will you own it? By resorting to Karam Yoga first, qualify, and then take to Jnana Yoga. And this way he concludes to tell Arjuna, get up and fight the war. And so we will take up the Bhashyam, try and do as much as we can. Try and complete it, of course. Yes? You can see?
Yes, Dipti.
Ah,
Yes.
something happened. Great. Tasmat
Tasmat
papishtham
papishtham
ajnana sambhutam
ajnana sambhutam
ajnanat
ajnanat
avivekat
avivekat
jatam ritstham
jatam ritstham
hridi buddhau
hridi buddhau
thitam
thitam
jnanasena
jnanasena
shokamohadi dosha haram
शोकमोहादि दोषहरम्
samyak darshanam jnanam
सम्यक् दर्शनं ज्ञानं
tadeva
तदेव
sihi asihi
असिः
खड्गः
खड्गः
तेन
तेन
ज्ञानासिना
ज्ञानासिना
मनः स्वस्य
आत्मनः स्वस्य
आत्मविषयत्वात्
आत्मविषयत्वात्
विषयस्य
संशयस्य
so tasmat is the verse Mulam papishtham is referring now to the 40th verse connection where he said atra samshayah na kartavyah papishto hi samshayah. Samshaya is the greatest papam. So mentioning that he says tasmat, therefore this papam which is ajnana sambhutam, this is again in the Moolam, which means ajnanat, ajnan se. Or ajnan is what? Very beautiful, and mark this as Shankara's uniqueness. He always called ajnan as a state of aviveka. I've been saying it, ajnan is not called as ignorance. You know, when we hear it early in our lives, first times, नए वेदांता, हम सोचते हैं अज्ञान एक चीज है जिसको हमें हटानी है. That way you're putting the onus on yourself to do something. All that he says you have to do is think. जब तक अविवेक स्थिति है तुम्हारी, अज्ञानवश तुम हो. Ajnanat refers to avivekat, conditional cause. जब तक अज्ञान से born है संभूतम means what? Ajnanat means avivek se born hai. Jatam, born. Born of aviveka means born of ajnanam. I hope you see the meaning. If I have to make ajnana sambhutam is equal to avivekat janat. jatam, sorry. Avivekat jatam. So the translation of Ajnana Sambhutam, meaning of it will be, translation will be born of ignorance. If you see the meaning will be born of non-thinking, non-discernment. What that papishtam, that you have to keep adding samshayam. Ritstham, again in the moolam, that ritstham means riddhi. And riddhi again, that physical, vachyartham, lakshyartham is buddhav, buddhi, antakaranam. So that physical heart actually symbolic of your antakaranam. This antakaranam sthitam. So where is that avivekat, actually sanshaya is existing in your heart because of aviveka. I'll repeat the sentence. Sanshaya is existing in your heart because of aviveka. Gyan asina. So this sthitam, jnana asina, cut it by jnanam. What is it that jnanam? He explains, this jnanam he explains. It is samyak darshanam. Samyak darshan is complete unified knowledge. Complete knowledge. Atma kya hai, anatma kya hai? One knowledge. Ishvara, Jagat, Jiva, Bhed, unified. That's knowledge. And what is it actually? That samyak darshanam har leta hai. Harna is, apaharan word comes from here. Har lena means har word means can someone give me a meaning? What is he writing here? Harna means taking away, kidnapping, destroying, kidnapping. Harta kya hai? Shoka mohadi dosha. The shoka mohadi dosh has been the topic since first chapter, remember? Arjuna, shoka, vishada yoga. Arjuna, vishada yoga. And there we said the sign and simple symptom of sansara is shoka and moha. So what does samyak darshanam do? Har leta hai, kidnap kar leta hai, means it destroys it, takes it away. Takes it away would be the right thing. It just takes away, destroys it, finishes it, takes away shoka and moha. Interesting note here. Samyak darshan takes away shoka and moha. Only samyak darshan can take away even shoka and moha. Any other method we employ to take away shoka and moha will not work. So all of them remain temporary. All our advices in the world, all our rings and all our changing of our vastus and सब कुछ काम करेगा, थोड़े टाइम के लिए कर सकता है. Let's give it a benefit of doubt. Let's not deny any knowledge in the world. Let it have its place, doesn't matter. But will it har lega usko for good? No. Till you have some samyak darshanam, even shoka moha does not get destroyed for good. So only samyak darshanam will take it away. Tadeva asihi. That jnanam, tat eva is jnanam. Asihi is khadgaha, sword. So jnanam is equated to the sword, which will tena, with that sword of knowledge, is the meaning jnana asina, which was in the moolam. Atmanaha. This atmanaha word, Shankara says, is swasya. That is the two interpretations that I gave, two meanings that I gave in the moolam. Atmanaha otherwise normally would mean swasya. Apne mein, apne andar. But Shankara says, don't take that as a meaning. That apne andar would mean the first meaning that I gave. He says it is actually Atma Vishayatvat Samshayam. It is a second meaning. Atmanaha means Atma ke Vishay ko leke jo sanshay hai hamme. Cut that asunder with knowledge, Samyak Darshan. Nahi.
Sorry, Diptiji, I was on mute. Nahi
परस्य संशयः
parasya samshayah
अपरेण चित्तव्यतां प्राप्तः चेतव्यतां प्राप्तः
aparena chetavyatam praptah
येन स्वस्य इति विशेष्येत
येन स्वस्य इति विशेष्येत विशेष्येत
Visha is not full. Visheshyeta.
विशेष्येत
So he says, na, indeed he, indeed not. Why is the first meaning not to be taken? What was the first meaning? The first meaning is doubt within oneself. तुम्हें ये इसलिए नहीं लेना चाहिए because शास्त्र परस्य संशय, किसी और का संशय, अपरेण, being outside you, चेतव्यताम प्राप्त, न प्राप्तः. The na first here is to be connected with the verb praptah. Na prapt. It's not possible for anyone to remove anybody else's doubts. So when you say Krishna is telling him, with the help of knowledge gained through Shravanam, remove your doubts. It is not destroying this doubt that may work once destruct. No. None may slay another's doubt. Nobody can slay other person's doubt. Therefore, Atmanaha means Yena swasya iti visheshyeta. Swasya here should mean Atma visheshyeta. Should specify the self as the object of the doubt. Knowledge of the self is a sword and doubt has self for its object. Atma for its object. None may slay another's doubt. He who doubts about the self is the slayer thereof. So, ataha
atah
atma vishaye api
atma vishaye api
vishayah api
vishayah api
swasya eva bhavati
स्वस्य एव भवति
चित्वा एनं संशयम्
स्थित्वा एनं संशयम्
स्वविनाश हेतुभूतम्
स्वविनाशहेतुभूतम्
योगं सम्यक् दर्शन
योगं सम्यक् दर्शन
उपायं कर्म अनुष्ठानम्
उपाय कर्म अनुष्ठानम्
आतिष्ठ कुरु इत्यर्थः
आतिष्ठ कुरु इत्यर्थः
तिष्ठ च इदानीम्
उत्तिष्ठ च इदानीम्
युद्धाय
युद्धाय
हे भारत इति
हे भारत इति
अतः therefore आत्मा विषयः अपि स्वस्य एव भवति. Therefore, the meaning is, it is confusion with reference to Atma ka topic, which doubt you must remove with knowledge. Chitva enam samshayam. This samshay is what you must cut asunder. Swavinasha hetu bhutam. Sanshayam here is equal to. Very beautiful. Shankara has given this referring back to 40th verse. ये जो संशय है ना, ये खुद का स्व के विनाश का हेतु है. Doubting the Shastra Vishaya and that you are Atma is the very hetu, reason, cause for your own vinash. Being of that nature, bhutam, sanshaya is of that nature that it becomes the cause of your own destruction. Therefore, yogam, that yogam means samyak darshana upaya. That word yogam in the moolam, Shankara says, जो सम्यक दर्शन का उपाय बन सकता है, cause बनता है, reason बनता है. And what is that? Karma अनुष्ठानम. Therefore, अनुष्ठान करो कर्म का. which means Karam Yoga. Karma Anushtan means Karam Yoga. Do that. Atishtha, abide in it. Establish in it. Sthit raho usme. Karam Yoga mein sthit ho. Kuru ityartha. Do it ityartha. Kuru means karo. Abiding in Karma Anushtan, because Karam Yoga will become the upaya for Samyak Darshan, and Samyak Darshan will become the upaya of Atma Vishaya Samshayam Chitva. It will become the upaya for destruction of Atma Vishaya. Ko leke Sanshay. Uttishta cha idanim yuddhaya. Uttishta, utho. Now, idanim, ab, you can imagine the conversation between Krishna and Arjuna at this stage, and having completed the entire knowledge. He's telling, I will repeat myself again. There cannot be more practical knowledge than this. He's addressing Arjuna in that downtrodden state, deluded state, confused state. He's telling him now get up. Utho, he Bharata iti. Shankara doesn't give the meaning of Bharata. Understood? Hey Arjuna, Uttishta. Now, for what? Yuddhaya. Yudh ke liye, utho. And yet people in Moolam study for years, you would have said, till 18th chapter, Krishna kept on going round and round, not giving him direct answer to his question. No, Krishna has given direct answer to his question many times already, up to the 4th chapter also. Here is the direct meaning. Shankara helps us understand. Yudh ke liye, Krishna has clearly told him, engage in your karma as yoga. You cannot escape it. You cannot avoid it. And with this, we conclude the 4th chapter. This is the ending always of the Moolam that you see here. So we will just chant this. Shruti, you can follow me. Iti Shri Mahabharate.
इति श्री महाभारते
Tata Sahasrayam.
ततसहस्रायां
Samhitayam.
संहितायां
Vaiyasikyam.
वैयासिक्यां
Bhishma Parvani.
भीष्मपर्वणि
Bhagavad Gita Supanishatsu.
श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु
श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासूपनिषत्सु
श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासूपनिषत्सु
ब्रह्मविद्यायां
ब्रह्मविद्यायां
योगशास्त्रे
योगशास्त्रे
श्रीकृष्णार्जुन संवादे
श्रीकृष्ण अर्जुन संवादे
ज्ञानकर्म संन्यास योगो नाम
ज्ञानकर्म संन्यास योगो नाम
चतुर्थोऽध्यायः
चतुर्थोऽध्यायः.
So this says iti, in this manner, Sri Mahabharate, calling Mahabharat as a personification, addressing it as Shri. Shri is the auspicious. So the very auspicious Mahabharata, which is composed of Shata Sahasrayam, 100,000 verses. Mahabharata Shata Sahasrayam Samhitayam. It is a Samhita of 100,000 verses. Vaiyasikyam, composed by Vyasa. Vaiyasikyam means written by Vyasa, composed by Vyasa, because it's in the form of a poem. Vaiyasikyam, composed by Vyasa. Where is this portion? Bhishma Parvani. In Bhishma Parva is Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Tu Upanishatsu Brahma Vidya. It is the chapter of Brahma Vidya and the Yoga Shastre, giving the knowledge which is the content of the Upanishads, is this Sri Bhagavad Gita. Again, Bhagavad Gita has got the personification of Sri, auspicious. So what is the content of Bhagavad Gita? The same as that of Upanishad. What is the content of Upanishad? The same as that of Brahma Vidya. This Brahma Vidya is the content of the Gita, which is also the Yoga Shastra, means it is also giving us the qualificatory knowledge, how to qualify oneself for Brahma Vidya. It gives us this knowledge also. And how is it presented? In the form of Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvada, a dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna. And what is this particular chapter? Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yogo Nama. This is Chaturtha Adhyaya, fourth chapter, which is titled Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. And Jnana, this samasa is to be taken in the sense of ज्ञान से जो कर्म संन्यास का योग है. So ज्ञान योग से जो कर्म संन्यास है, that is the topic of the fourth chapter. And then Bhashyakara also, every time the Bhashyam concludes, there is this conclusion of the Bhashyam apne aap, like this is the conclusion of the Moolam on top. The bottom is the conclusion of the Bhashyam. We'll do that also. इति श्रीमद् परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य
इति श्रीमद् परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य
गोविंद भगवत पूज्य पाद शिष्य श्रीमद् शंकर भगवतः
कृतौ
श्री भगवद गीता भाष्ये ज्ञान कर्म संन्यास योगो ब्रह्म यज्ञ प्रशंसा नाम चतुर्थोऽध्यायः. The main reason I say we'll do it is because we'll remember. Iti, in this manner, Srimad Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Acharya, who is Paramahamsa Parivrajaka, means the highest in the sannyasa ashrama. Parivrajaka is the one who is it's an order of the sannyasa, highest sannyasa. Paramahamsa, again to say highest, Paramahamsa. Who is he? And he's also an acharya. That's a beautiful part. Not every jnani is an acharya. This glory is that he is an acharya. And what is he? Who is he? Govinda Bhagavad Pujya Pada. He's a Govinda whose shishya is Pujya Pada Shishya, who's on his feet. Shishya Srimad Shankara Bhagavad. Shankara's Shishya. Shankara is the Shishya of Govinda Pada. He is the Shishya of it. Kritau. Shishya of Govinda Pad. Shankara has done what? Srimad Bhagavad Gita Bhashya. In writing this Bhashyam, which is on Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga, fourth chapter. And what is the uniqueness of this chapter? And that is why it is important to know this. The whole chapter pivots on Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi, Brahmagnyo, Brahmanahutam. It pivots on Brahma Yajna Prashansa. So we did that in I think the 24th verse it is. In all where the yajnas had started, 24th verse, where the portion of Jnana Sadhana had started, and we said Brahma Yajna is the highest sadhana, and good or bad, who knows, but this verse has got associated to be chanting before meals, so therefore people think it's an offering for meals, but it is actually a reminder. The sannyasis would do it in ashrams, would chant it as a reminder that they are consuming this annam because their goal is Brahmarpanam. So who eats, who devours, who cooks, who produce, all that is Brahman. So to establish in Brahma Jnana Nishtha, they would chant this. But somewhere, as we know, all paramparas take distortions. And now when 30, 40, 50 years down the line, people think it's a verse to be chanted before taking meals. No, it was a reminder of Brahma Gyan, the whole cycle being Brahman, that we chant it before meals. So whole of fourth chapter rests on Brahma Yajna Prashansa. And by Ishvara Anugraha, Arpanamastu, we conclude this whichever way, with whichever manner. What is important is that the chapter Bhashyam has got concluded, and thank you everyone for sustaining so much of ups and downs and everything that's happened in the conclusion of this chapter. We have finished it. We'll chant the first verse. Shruti can follow me. Shri Bhagavanuvacha
श्रीभगवानुवाच
Imam Vivasvate Yogam
इमं विवस्वते योगम्
Proktavanahamavvyayam
प्रोक्तवानहमव्ययम्
Vivasvanmanave praha
विवस्मान्मनवे प्राह
Manurikshvakave bravit
मनुरिक्ष्वाकवे ब्रवीत्
Shri Bhagavanuvacha Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavanahamavvyayam Vivasvanmanave praha Manurikshvakave bravit.
श्रीभगवानुवाच इमं विवस्वते योगम् प्रोक्तवानहमव्ययम् विवस्वान्मनवे प्राह मनुरिक्ष्वाकवे ब्रवीत्.
This we conclude. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamat Purnamevayate Om Shanti Shanti